Why am I in this exercise slash laundry room? I don't know why I said that. I'm here because I need to test my 3D printed shoes on this treadmill by running a mile. But before I do that, I'm going to explain how I made them. Please subscribe if you enjoy this content. First thing I had to do was 3D print the shoes on this thing. So I found a model for a shoe sole online by a guy called Weaselfish. And I decided that's what we'll use for the base of our shoe. It took me a couple of tries to get the size of the shoe right, but I figured it out. Because I had to make the shoes so many times and I had to make them fairly big, I needed to cut some corners with the model. So I printed the shoes at a 0.4 millimeter layer height, which is very low quality, but it is a fast print. Anyways, the shoes turned out pretty good. The curved parts on the bottom were, I guess, stringy would be the right word, but all the top and flat parts printed fine. So the base was done. Now all I needed to do was find a way to fasten the shoes to my feet. Then I figured out that all I needed to fasten the shoes to my feet was the world's greatest invention since the Super Collider. Flip-flops. So, if I get some old flip-flops, I can cut off the part that attaches them to your feet, and then just attach that to my plastic shoe. Alright, so I've got some old flip-flops, which are going to be destroyed. I think we're gonna have to use hot glue again. I'll be right back. Alright, I think that'll work. The shoes were done. The only thing left for me to do was to test them on this treadmill. So I strapped on the shoes with a couple extra layers of duct tape to ensure they wouldn't fall off because I was not confident. Then I turned on the treadmill and started walking. Alright, I changed the camera to that wide-angle lens mode on all new iPhones just so you can see full body running. Alright, time to show the internet how bad I am at running. I added more duct tape, by the way. Take note here of how I'm walking like an awkward Sasquatch. This is not because my posture is bad. Well, I mean, it is. But that's not what we're seeing here. What we're seeing here is a reflex of me curving my back because of how weird it felt to be walking in those shoes. At this point in the run, I was just trying to stay alive and not fall over, and that's why I looked like that. I was about 4 minutes in, I was walking at about 2 miles per hour, and at this point my feet felt alright. So to make my run less boring, I decided to try and make a song by hitting an empty water bottle against the wall to the beat that my shoes was making hitting the treadmill. Then around the 6-minute mark, I decided to speed it up to 3 miles per hour. It did not go very well because the shoes started to fall off my feet. Who could have seen that one? Alright, the duct tape's coming off, we're going back down. So I almost immediately took it back down to 2 miles per hour. The rest of the first half mile wasn't horrible, but it wasn't fun. And I was glad to be able to stop for a sec so I could start another clip for the second half mile of the run. Half a mile, that's it, half a mile. Oh, I really started to sting at the end there. It's getting lacerated. That hurts. Alright, that's half a mile. I'm gonna stop this recording and start another so the file size isn't too big. Alright, recording 2. For the majority of the second half of the mile, I wasn't saying or doing anything. I was just trying to survive, and you could see it in my face. And with all of that being said and being on my mind, I decided to do the last quarter of a mile at 3 miles per hour.
Oh boy.
So that was horrible. My feet hurt and I had a headache at the end of that. I don't think the headache was related though. I might want to get that checked out. Anyways, none of that was to the fault of the base of the shoes. It was all to the fault of my horrible fastening device. I kept stepping on the bottom of the circle on the flip-flop lace or whatever you call it, and it really hurt. It still hurts days later. The duct tape kept peeling too, and it stung my foot as it just kept peeling off. So that hurt, and as I kept running, my foot got sweaty and the shoes started to slip off, so my feet were looser, and a couple times, you might be able to see, my foot stepped off the shoe and onto the treadmill, which kind of twisted my foot, and that hurt the most of anything. However, if someone made a functioning and comfortable fastening device for these shoes, 3D printed shoes could be a very nice, low-budget shoe. Like, it's not going to look good, but it would be very functional. I didn't mention this yet, but the actual base of the shoe, the part we printed, held up amazingly. There was no damage to the shoe at all, the 3D printed part. I mean, aside from the stringy bits from before, but it was completely fine after the run. So, those shoes held up amazing, and they're cheap. We could genuinely hand these things out to dirty homeless people to keep dirty homeless feet off my porch. I'm only half joking. These shoes, though, could genuinely be made and given out to people who can't buy shoes. That is, if they get the proper fastening device. I mean, these shoes would be very cheap. You could buy them for like $5, and you would barely have to replace them because the bottom is so sturdy. So people could just buy one pair of these shoes that would last for years and then buy another one after that for like $10. It would just... I'm ranting. Someone make a better design of my shoe and then buy the rights off me for a lot of money. Anyways, please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram. You guys already know by now. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you in a month.